when we see the word we in here big, you see the word we? This we in here present Allah. We established him securely on earth. And he supported him with the knowledge. So the knowledge of Alexander the Great is coming from Allah himself. So how the knowledge of Allah became, it appeared to him? If this man, his knowledge is coming from Allah. So they lie about who is speaking. The one is talking here is only Allah. It is not Alexander the Great reporting his story. It is not Alexander the Great saying, I went to the end of the earth until I found the sun sitting in the murky water. No, it's not him. It is Allah only speaking here. He's reporting. It is not him who said, it's Allah who said. And now, not only this, the verse before, 2 verses before, verse number 84, it says clearly that we gave him knowledge. So all the knowledge of Alexander the Great is given to him from Allah. Now this means the knowledge of Alexander the Great, according to Mr. Zakir Naik, it was stupid and funny because his knowledge was stupid. But the Quran says a verse before that this knowledge is coming from Allah. So how this knowledge became so stupid and idiot knowledge when this is coming from Allah, not from Alexander the Great? And remember in here, actually this story about Jewish, they put Muhammad in a trap. They told Muhammad, you told us about all the prophets of God except one. So Muhammad, he thought Alexander the Great is a prophet because the Jewish, they said so. They were trapping him. They are making fun of him. Like, you know, you go to someone, he claimed to be a doctor. Hey, Dr. Muhammad, what do you think where the baby is coming from? That's why he said the baby, you know, is coming from the backbone and the ribs of the women. They are making fun of him. So here Allah is the one, as you see in here in the story. Let's go a verse before. The story saying, and they will ask thee about two-horned one say. By the way, the stupid thing about this translation, because they will ask thee. No, it says in Arabic, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ, not they will. They are asking thee. Let me show you how the translations, Muslims, they play with their Quran. This is why we say not only the Quran in Arabic is corrupt book, even the English one. Because if we will go and read the same verse in different translation, you will see how the meaning totally changed. We will see if it says, and they will ask, will. I want you to focus on the word will. Is it will? Or they are asking thee? Asking. Let us see. We go to Yusuf Ali and we see if it says will or they are asking. Here we go. Just a verse before. 3 verse before. They ask thee. Do you see it? This is Yusuf Ali translation. And there is a huge difference between they will ask thee or they ask thee. They ask already. You see why we cannot trust Islamic. You know, when somebody says will, it's something did not happen yet. But when somebody says they ask thee, it means it's something happened. This is why I cannot really ever in a Muslim speaking about his religion, translating his text or his scriptures, explaining them, because all of them, they are a bunch of liars. If we go to different translation, Shakir, here we go. And they ask you about Alexander the Zulqarnain. They will ask you. Like, come on. So, you know, he chose Muhammad Asad because this translation is the only one to suit him, and Muhammad Asad trying to be smart ass, trying to protect his God. It doesn't work this way. Because simply, there's many ways we prove that this is false. Because if you read with me in here, they ask you about Zulqarnain, I will recite to you an account of him. So who is going reciting? Allah. You see, Zakir Naik, he said to us that a student, he said, two students are qualified. Not me, not the teacher. This is not what the Quran is saying. The Quran is saying it is Allah reciting, not the students, Abdul, the idiot. I in here present Allah. And he is the one is telling about the account of him. Him who? Alexander the Great. Zulqarnain. Surely we established him in land and granted him means of access to everything. Actually, in the correct translation, it's about knowledge. We gave him the access of every knowledge. We established him with security, which means a big army, and knowledge. Like if you see, this is why every translation. Let's go back. It's a messed up. Islam is messed up religion. It's messed up. Yusuf Ali. This is Yusuf Ali. We established his power on earth, and we gave him the ways and the means to all ends. This is Yusuf Ali translation. Let us see different translation. Shakir. We established to him in the land and granted him the means of access to everything. And you know what? Let us go and see the explanation of this verse. As long we are here, let us do this. This is a translation. And we gave him the means of everything. Ibn Abbas, Mujahid, Sa'id, etc. said. It's mean knowledge. Knowledge. You see it? Here we go. Knowledge. We gave him knowledge. So, in the holy chapter, Alexander the Great, he did not open his mouth. Alexander the Great, he did not say a word. Alexander the Great is not the one telling his story, and Allah is not carrying what Alexander the Great he said. He is carrying to us what happened with Alexander the Great. And there is a huge difference. Because if I am reporting to you what he said, it is his fault what he said. I'm just a carrier for what he said. This is not what the Quran is saying. The Quran is saying, I will tell you about Alexander the Great. I will tell you voluntarily. Voluntarily. And they are and they ask you, Muhammad, oh Muhammad, about Dhul-Qarnayn, Alexander the Great, about his history or his story. We have already mentioned how disbelievers in Mecca sent words to Prophet of the people of the book, asking them for some information with which they test the Prophet. So they are examining the Prophet. As I said to you, they are making fun of him. The Prophet, the people of the book, said, ask him about a man who traveled extensively through the earth, and about some young man, nobody, etc. So he said, verily we established to him, so this is the answer. The one is answering is Allah. The people in here, they are not asking Alexander the Great, and they are not asking Muhammad to tell them what Alexander the Great he said. And this is why we see in here, as I told you, this is let me go to Yusuf Ali translation. Okay, read with me please. 83. They ask thee concerning Dhul-Qarnayn, say what? Say the words of Allah. I will I will tell you about his story. I will tell you something about his story. So the reporter and the only teller in here is Allah. And Allah, there is no way he say that he went until he found the sun setting what he thought is next. No. Because there's no point of this. You are telling us about Alexander the Great as a great believer in Allah. By the way, Alexander the Great is a messenger of Allah in Islam, when he is a bisexual. Because later you will see Alexander the Great is going after the people and telling them, either you believe or I'm going to kill you. He's doing jihad. You see? Because if we read this verse in here, uh, the verse we are talking about, until when he reached the setting of the sun, he found it sitting in a spring of murky water. We mentioned that sea cannot be murky water. And this is what the word means. And by the way, the word hamia not only murky. The word hamia mean murky and hot. Murky and hot. Hot as boiling, close to boiling, very hot. And you can see that in the Islamic dictionary. Here we go. Lisan al-Arab. Hamia mean murky, and the same time mean hot. Both meaning together for one word. So it's a murky and hot water. And it doesn't say actually anything about sea or as we mentioned. But if we go back a little bit, we will see the following. He found near it what? Near the sun. Focus with me, please. Let us say he was mistaken about the sun where it set. But how the Quran says he found near it people. Because if he imagined that the sun set there, there is no way he will imagine now that there's people there. Near it is near where the sun set. Which means the sun set so close to where he arrived. Not in the ocean far away. It's in that muddy water. There is no ocean as we showed you. And there is no, and actually the Muslim themselves translating as a spring in here, Yusuf Ali. And all of us, we know a spring of murky water cannot be big. It has to be very small. And he found near to it people who said, "O Dhul Qarnayn." And we said to Allah, he said to them, you see, Allah speaking to Alexander the Great, he's his messenger. And the funny guys, Alexander the Great, Allah, he spoke to him, but Muhammad, his God, never spoke to him directly. Allah, he spoke to the bisexual man, the gay, Alexander the Great, but he never spoke to Muhammad. Isn't it weird? Muhammad never, ever, ever spoke to Allah, and Allah spoke to him. All what Muhammad have is someone, Muslims, they call him Jibreel. He looked like Dahya al-Kalbi, the boyfriend of Muhammad. He came to him, supposedly he squeezed him 3 times, and he did not tell him even I'm an angel. He just squeezed him and tell him, read in the name of your God. And after that, after 3 times squeezing, still Muhammad cannot read. So we said, who is saying? Allah said to Alexander the Great. So in here Allah is reporting a true story, not what appeared to Alexander. You see, because Allah in here is involving in the story, and he is speaking to Alexander the Great. Because if it's appeared to Alexander the Great, why Allah did not say to him, hey Abdul, does not appear, this is false. Okay? No. It is Allah reporting, and here we go, Allah himself is correcting Alexander the Great regarding what he need to do. But he did not correct